Good morning and welcome back to my Just Start show. We've been discussing about why don't we speak in English, and I've given a few points, and I thought let's discuss on why we can't speak in English. Why we can't speak in English. And the first and foremost point is lack of proficiency, as we had discussed earlier. Sometimes lack of proficiency, having too much exposure in learning and using the language stops us from being proficient, and a lot of other barriers are there that stops us from being proficient. We have discussed in detail about 25 different angles we have discussed, and all this stops us from being proficient because we don't learn the language like the way it has to be learned. So that is one important factor. Fear of making mistakes. People are afraid of making mistakes, and it stops them, and they can't learn the language if they fear of committing mistakes. We learn by committing mistakes, nothing wrong, absolutely wrong, because we are not speaking in our native language where perfection is expected. We are speaking in a different language which we have acquired, so committing mistakes is normal, so we should grow over it. That shouldn't be stopping us from learning the language. Social anxiety or shyness. Learning a language, people feel that they might be judged differently, they might be misunderstood, so it stops us from expressing ourselves better. So social anxiety and shyness stops us from practicing the language, at least trying to put forth whatever that we have learned in a social context. And this fear of judgment or negative evaluation stops us from learning the language, and we can't learn the language if we are socially anxious or shy. Continue to be like that. Cultural barriers. There are cultural barriers that stop us from learning the language because there are different communication styles and norms, and this can create discomfort. There are different styles and norms practiced in different cultures, and this can create that kind of a discomfort. Limited exposure to English speaking environments. Definitely this is a very important deterring factor because we don't have much exposure to English language learning, English language speaking context. So this exposure doesn't help us in practicing it on a day-to-day basis. So naturally it is again a deterring factor, and this again stops us, and we can't learn the language if you don't have that exposure as such. So these are a few points that I thought I should discuss today, and these are the 5 important points that I have prioritized. I'll be speaking about other points in subsequent sessions. Stay put, stay with Just Start. You'll learn a lot, and we'll all keep sharing the resources and progress together. Thank you very much for being with me. Thank you.